I'm trying to do this because I got these daggone glasses on and I low-key just don't want the light to reflect in them. But shit, like, you know, it is what it is. We gonna have to roll with the punches. Hey y'all, it's Bookishrealm. I'm back with another video. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. If you've been watching for a while, welcome back. So as you can see from the title of this video, we are here to have a discussion because that's what I do with my channel, constantly have discussions. And this is one that I've been thinking on for a little bit, something that I've talked about in live shows, something that I think is important to have an open floor and open dialogue about, and that is cancel culture, because it's a thing here in the book community. And listen, we're gonna get into the nuance parts of it here. And of course, as always, I love for y'all to share your thoughts, how you feel about stuff, your energy, as long as we just keep it respectful. It's the only thing I ever ask when I have these discussions is that you can respectfully agree or disagree with somebody, because we all separate, and let's just keep it classy, like we keep it classy in this lane, in this arena, and that's what we're about here. Okay, so the reason why I've been thinking about this a lot is because cancel culture is a thing in the book community, and recently I've been seeing people use the term woke mob, and the mob is coming after you. People are trying to cancel you or cancel these authors, cancel. And there's just not a lot of nuance in what goes on in reference to cancel culture. So we're going to take it back. We're going to have a little lesson here real quick. We're going to talk about exactly where cancel culture came from, or where the term cancel came from. Not cancel culture, but the term cancel came from black folks. Black folks. I need people to stop co-opting what we come up with and then turn it into something completely negative. So the idea of canceling an actual human, a person, came from a 1991 film, New Jack City, where it was said, cancel that bitch, I'll buy another one. Something along those lines. It was made even more popular through Black Twitter in 2014 because of Love and Hip Hop, when one of the characters, might as well be because it's horrible acting, one of the people ended up saying, you know, that they were going to cancel the person that they had been seeing. And so that became something that people were saying on Twitter. The idea of canceling something or canceling someone was originally supposed to be about making up for those inequitable or the unequitable power dynamics that exist between marginalized voices and white folks. Because there is a power dynamic that is not equitable. And so it was a way for people to say, I'm not going to put my money towards you. I'm not going to put my energy towards you. I just won't support you. And that was canceling someone. However, in our community, it has turned into something completely different. Now, I just want to start this off by saying, I am not here to tell you that people should not be held accountable for their actions. That ain't what this is. Because if anything, I'm gonna stand in my truth and say, you fuck up, you need to be held accountable for your actions. And there's been plenty of authors who have done so many wrong things, and they need to be held accountable for what they have said and what they have done. The thing about canceling here in the book community, whether that is BookTube, whether that is Book Talk, whether that is Bookstagram, is sometimes it lacks nuance. I think sometimes there is good intentions, people mean well, but then it becomes this, I have no idea what's going on, but I'm just gonna shoot in full charge and jump into the conversation having no idea exactly what's going on. And then false information starts getting spread. People start defending things that have nothing to do with the conversation at hand. And so we lose this essence of holding people accountable. It starts to look like the mob, and then you have people who may be leaning very, very far in certain directions. Not gonna call anybody out, because where you stand is where you stand. I just don't rock with it. They use that as a means to back up people no longer being held accountable. People get called the mob, or people get called snowflakes, or people just, all the liberals are coming after you now. And really what it's supposed to be about is simply saying what you did is wrong. You've been very harmful to said community. We need you to do better. And so because there is no nuanced conversation, and most of this happens in and on a platform where you are limited to 280 characters, sometimes things just explode and it no longer fits the purpose of accountability. Now, how do we fix this problem? I wish I had an answer, because to be honest with you, I really don't have an answer on how we can really fix this problem, because social media is social media and is what it is at the end of the day. But I think that having these expectations, one, that we could ever truly, possibly cancel an author is very, very slim to none. It has happened where it's been enough outrage and outcry that publications have gotten pushed back, publications have been canceled, or people have literally been dropped. And that was an extreme case in which someone was completely dropped from their publisher. But in a lot of these cases with a lot of these authors, they literally crawl into a hole for a year and then they hide. They give a Twitter note apology or iPhone note apology. They post it on Twitter, they crawl into a hole, they go into other social media platforms where nobody knows exactly what's going on, and then nothing happens. And so I think that there's something to be said about trying to raise awareness and raise a level of accountability for people who have committed ills towards other communities, as opposed to we're going to dogpile because it's just something to do and that's how we're going to handle the situation. Because I don't think that that essence of it really benefits us whatsoever, because I have seen authors use that idea that anybody who is trying to hold anybody accountable is a mob, and we have a mob mentality. They have used that as a means to double down, because those same people get on these authors, and I've seen it on Instagram. I can't remember the romance writer, where I know somebody is going to remind me. She did something, some representation was not good. People tried to hold her accountable, and then it was, oh, it's the mob mentality. You didn't do anything wrong. You don't have to apologize. And so when people see nothing but that, they take that and they turn it into something negative. It's not supposed to be negative. Holding somebody accountable for their actions is not negative. It is holding them accountable for something that they've done that they had no business doing. But without space to have open dialogue and a very nuanced conversation, it looks like mob mentality. It looks like we're just going to jump on top of you, go to Goodreads, and one star bomb your book because we no longer like you. And so I don't know how effective that ends up being in the long run. And so I wonder sometimes if there's any way for us to have a better conversation of how to handle situations when an author behaves badly, how to make people more aware of what said author is doing and how they should be held accountable. Because one thing that I always say about our community, whether that is Bookstagram, Book Talk, or Book Twitter, it is very, very niche and very small. And while some controversies do make it outside of the bubble, the larger reading public has no idea what's going on. They don't know, or they just don't care. They're not aware that any of this is happening. So what may appear to us as canceling somebody is really nothing to them, because it's social media and there is no level of accountability really happening, because it's like, well, I'm just getting attacked. I'm just going to disappear from social media and continue to do my events and continue to sell my books. And when people tell me that I have no reason to apologize and that I've done nothing wrong, I'm just going to double down and keep going on about my life. And it just, it sucks big time, because I know what this was supposed to be. I think a lot of us know what this was supposed to be, and now it's turned into something that it's not. I think that sometimes people engage in virtue signaling because they're afraid that they're going to get canceled. I mean, that's more harmful than not saying anything at all, because you're really not sincere about it. It's the same way that people were virtual signaling during 2020 and following Black creators and screwing over their channels and their algorithms and everything. But in the moment, it was a thing to do because people were so afraid that they were going to get canceled, because those same channels are thriving right now. People flooded and rushed to Black creators and ended up screwing them over, because now 2 years later, they don't even watch their content. So here we are now. You have instances where I feel like people go on Twitter and they make these lists. These authors are canceled, don't read them. But why? There's no nuance there. You're not explaining why someone is on this list. Because at the end of the day, someone who maybe just did something, said something out of pocket, and I don't mean racial. I'm not gonna sit here and say no racial, this is out of pocket. It could be somebody who's just saying something that's out of pocket compared to somebody who has committed sexual assault. That's not equal footing to even begin to have them on the same list. And yet we will put these lists out and say, don't read these authors. If you do, I'm not speaking to you, you're canceled, I'm going to put you on blast and I'm going to unfollow. It's just not, to me, that's not the method to handle things. You are fine to follow who you want or who you don't. My philosophy is that when it comes to us from creator to creator level, if you know somebody supports somebody that you don't support, now you know how they move. So don't mess with them. Don't F with them. Unfollow them. Don't talk to them. Move them out of your space, because that's within your right to create a space around you that's healthy and what you consider to not be toxic. But to do all of this extra stuff, I think lends a bad name to when people truly try to hold people accountable. That's not saying that they have to say it in a certain way, because I don't do tone policing. That ain't me. I don't do tone policing because I have been tone. I don't do that. Not saying that they have to say it a certain way, that it has to be, oh, da 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 da. Like, it don't have to be all of that. But at the end of the day, like, I think the jumping in, not knowing what's going on, spreading false information, it lends a bad name to what now people are calling cancel culture, the woke mob mentality. It doesn't benefit us at all. It's not serving the purpose that it was designed to serve. It was so designed to make sure that people who don't have the power are able to hold people accountable that do have the power. It's just frustrating. It's so hard to be able to get that done when people look at your accountability as a joke. But I think that it comes down to, how do we engage in holding people accountable so that it's not a constant of, oh, people in the book community, because there's articles out there now, y'all, that call book Twitter, Bookstagram, Booktube mob mentality, nothing but liberal snowflakes, the wokes, which woke is also a co-opted term, but I won't even get into that history lesson today, but it is co-opted. Let's just say that right now, from Black people, as always. How can we continue to hold people accountable without people saying, oh, this is nothing but the mob mentality, you did nothing wrong, which gives authors the encouragement to double down, especially when you have communities who have been harmed by said author or publisher or editor or creator, or saying to them, hey, listen, like, you've done something that's hurt somebody. How do we have these conversations? How do we create a space in which it becomes a nuance? But I can tell you right now, I just feel like Twitter is just kind of the hardest place to even have a conversation like this, because you could only, it's stream of consciousness. Why couldn't I get that out? Oh my God. It's very stream of consciousness, very quick. And so everything just can't be solved in 280 characters. It's impossible. And I feel like a lot of stories and details about said stories just gets lost in the wash, because it depends on who you follow. And then when people do call outs, like, they're not really saying who the call is about. So you got people trying to put it's just a mess. What is the way for this to be the most healthy and most direct way to hold someone accountable and we continue to be a productive community? I wish I had the answer, because it's kind of like, I get why it exists. I understand why it exists. It is important for there to be some level of accountability. But I also feel like people take this and they kind of run with it with anything that an author says that's not something that they necessarily agree with at all times. Then it's, let's put them on the list, they need to be canceled. And it's like, okay, well, did they say that the sky was red and you believe that it's blue and now they're canceled? And I know that's a really asinine way to compare things, but sometimes it does feel that way. It feels like it's the smallest things when there are some bigger issues that probably should be addressed, but I just don't feel like Twitter is the place to do it sometimes. And I mean, we are a world built on social media. So how do we find this balance? How do we continue to make sure that community members are doing the right thing without it becoming a political thing? Because let's keep it 100. It has now boiled down to the left and the right. And having someone be held accountable for being offensive to a community or harmful to a community, to me, should have nothing to do with politics, but it does here in the US, and it's super fucking unfortunate, but it is what it is, and that's the reality of the situation. But I just kind of wanted to delve into this with y'all. I mean, somebody's going to be infuriated by this video. There's always someone who's infuriated by this discussion, but I just wanted to open up the floor and ask y'all, what do you think the solution is, and how can we find or maintain some semblance of a balance? Let me know in the comment box below. Remember, as I always say, please keep it classy. We do that in this small little corner of the interwebs that I am on. We keep it classy. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content from me, click the subscribe button, hit the bell for notification. Looking for ways to support the channel or follow me on social media. All the links will be down in the description box below, and I'll be back with another video soon.